What is going on, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. For all of you that are new here, hello, hi, my name is Nicole and I am a realtor in Rhode Island and in Massachusetts, and my channel is just all things real estate. And today we are going to be answering your questions. So on my Instagram the other day, I put up a question box for everyone to ask me any real estate related questions, and I got some really good ones that I'm going to answer for you today. So let's go answer your questions. All right, so my first question that I got is, how do you get listings when you're a new agent? How do you get business when you're a new agent is kind of how I'm going to structure that question. It is, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it, it is pretty difficult in the beginning as a real estate agent. Basically what you want to really do is just start marketing yourself and putting yourself out there to let everybody know that you are now a real estate agent. When I first started, I actually made postcards or actually handwritten note cards to all of my friends and my family members that I sent out. I also did text messages to all of my friends and family members if I didn't have their address, just to let them know that they had a real estate professional in their inner circle. I also blasted it all over social media that I am now currently an agent. You market yourself, market yourself, market yourself. You need people to know that you are an agent. Honestly, I don't recommend having any private accounts as well either. I know a lot of people like to have their Instagram private, but you want people to be able to see what you're doing. You want people to know who you are. And what I do for listings now is that I do a lot of cold calling. So what I would do is call certain neighborhoods and areas that I know that I have buyers in, or even if I don't have buyers for that neighborhood, I would call them to let them know about how values are right now and use the values to your advantage, because values, obviously, as we all know, have skyrocketed. So call the homeowners of certain properties to let them know that maybe a house in the area has sold and that could affect the value of their house. And are they curious to know how that affected the value of your house? Or are you curious to know what your house can sell for in today's crazy high market? A lot of those trigger words will make sellers think, okay, I am curious to know what my house is worth. And then if you can give them the number, their magic number, because everybody has a magic number in their head, then you could potentially set up a listing appointment and hopefully be the agent of choice to list their home. My next question is book suggestions or podcasts for new realtors, please. I am going to admit I am not a book person. I have bought many books in efforts to actually read them. However, I get through a couple of chapters and I honestly just get bored. I'm not a book person. However, I am a huge podcast person. I love going for walks listening to podcasts, or getting ready in the morning listening to podcasts, or watching YouTube videos. I'm more of an audio and visual learner than I am actually just trying to read a book and visualizing it in my head. But besides from that, the podcast that I would recommend is Tom Ferry. He is my number one. Just highly recommend Tom Ferry. I also recommend Ed Mylett. He is probably my second favorite as well. He talks about business, talks about real estate, basically just a positive overall life, whether that be personal or business. And my third one I would say would be Gary Vaynerchuk, who he can be a little harsh and blunt at times, but I personally like that about him because you just know that he's real. So I highly recommend Tom Ferry, Ed Mylett, and Gary Vaynerchuk. Those are my top three for podcasts. So I actually just ran downstairs to get some of the books that I do have, and I'm kind of embarrassed to show you because, like I said, I don't read books and they are very, 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 very dusty. Another one I did forget to mention as well is Dean Graziosi. I believe that's how you pronounce the last name. This is actually the one book that I did actually get pretty far in, Millionaire Success Habits. It actually was really good. I do recommend this one. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Didn't really become a fan of it, but this is actually, like, I think a lot of people love this book, so I guess I just had to like really push myself to go through with it, but I didn't. But it's another good one. This one is Grant Cardone. He's really big into real estate investing. So if you want to get into that type of real estate field, then I would recommend how to create wealth investing in real estate. Grant Cardone is a really good one. The 10X Rule. There's dust everywhere right now. I'm not even kidding. The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. And then Brandon Bouchard. This is High Performance Habits as well too. So my next question, is it best to go solo after finding a team or stay with the team? I know I did a video before on is it is it beneficial to be a solo agent compared to a team? And like I said, I always highly recommend being with the team. Even after you've been an agent for multiple years, I still just highly recommend being with a team. You just benefit so much more in having a group of people who have the same mindset as you, who are trying to grow. And I just feel like you become more relevant in the real estate field when you're associated with a good group of people. And I honestly feel like down the line, solo agents, they're just not going to be as successful as being within a team. So I do just highly recommend staying with the team. If you want to go solo, I mean, that's totally up to you guys if you think that you'd be more beneficial being a solo agent, but I just truly enjoy being in a team environment. I am a team player, and I just think being with the team is going to help you succeed in this career. And the next question, how long did it take you to get your first commission check? Oh boy, oh boy. Now that's a question in itself. I got licensed in 2019, in April of 2019. I didn't get my first commission check until 2020. Reason being behind that though is that when I first got my license, I actually didn't really do much of real estate. The only transaction that I did when I first got my license was my own house, which I didn't take a commission on. I actually just dropped the price of the house rather than me taking a commission. And then once I actually dived into it more, got onto a team and started actually trying to get business, it took me, when I first joined my actual first team and actually started being a real estate agent and really marketing myself and stuff, I started in November, and I didn't get my first commission check until that following May. So it took about 6 months for me to actually, from when I actually started really diving into the real estate field, of getting that first commission check. So it does take a little bit of time at first. It's not something where you're going to see instant gratification. It takes a lot of hard work and efforts to get your business up and running and for you to actually get that commission check. Because think about it, even when you get your first clients, it takes a little while obviously to find them a house. And then once you actually do find them a house, that closing date is 45 days out anyways. So it's going to take you a little while. So even if you do get a client right off the bat of starting your real estate career, it's going to take you probably 2 months for you to actually see that first commission check anyways. For some agents don't really see their first commission check for a year after they actually started in the business. Next question, are you constantly working 24/7, or how do you come up with a schedule? For me, I feel like I work 24/7, but I don't. I really do time block, and I really do try to stick to a calendar, because then you will literally drive yourself insane. You will burn out so quickly in this business if you think you need to work 24/7. Some months are busier than others, or I should say some seasons are busier than others. In the winter seasons or the colder seasons, a lot of my time is more about prospecting, making business, and especially like in the wintertime at the end of the year, it's always about trying to get that business for the beginning of the next year. And then during like the spring and summer times, I'm out on the road all the time, showing houses, going on appointments. It's just a busier season in the real estate market. So I wouldn't say I work 24/7, but some weeks I do work definitely over 40 hours, and other weeks it may not be as much. I may be able to just really sit here and prospect for 3-4 hours and then not really have much going on for the rest of the day. Next question, is it expensive to get started and keep your license? Honestly, it's not that expensive to get started. I think the real estate course itself was like $450, and that's the full course along with the books. And then the test, I don't have exact numbers off the top of my head, so I'm kind of just estimating, but the course was around $450, and then the real estate exam, I think it may be around $100. And then once you actually take the test, that's when the other fees come up, such as becoming a board member, which being a board member is like $650 per year. You have MLS fees, which are $30 per month. And you have to obviously do continuing education classes to keep your license active. And that amount differs as well too, a few $100 there as well. That's every 2 years. But to actually start up, it's really not that expensive. And then if you think about it, you'd close a couple deals, you already accounted for all that money that you had to put up front to pay to actually get your license. So it is a very rewarding career, but as long as you're actually producing, because the fees do accrue as time goes on, and you just want to make sure that you're actually closing deals and getting that commission to account for the amount of money that you're putting towards keeping your real estate license. Because once you actually get into the business, you're obviously going to pay for ads, you're going to pay for your marketing, or once you become associated with a brokerage, you may have desk fees that you need to pay, monthly fees that you need to pay. It just depends on which broker that you associate yourself with. It depends on what fees you're going to be responsible for. Next question is, what's a good way to promote your business? I'm just a huge advocate of social media. I love social media. Obviously, I love YouTube as well too. I'm posting daily on my Instagram. I try to stay super relevant on Facebook, running Facebook ads, running Instagram ads. And you can also reach out to like local loan officers or people in the real estate business who would love your business, because they can contribute towards marketing material for you as well. For instance, I have a ad or like a marketing piece at a local supermarket here in Rhode Island, and I had a loan officer. They actually came in half with me on it because we both marketed ourselves on it, and it's one of those sanitizing stations where when people walk in, they can take like the wipe out to wipe down their carriages and see my face, and then it can, all my information's right there as well too. So just trying to get out into your local communities. There's so many ways to market yourself out there. Just collaborations with other real estate professionals. You can do videos with attorneys where you do like a Q&A back and forth, or even loan officers where you do Q&As back and forth and put them on Facebook. You just want to become the face of value to the consumer. You want people to know that you know what you're doing and that they can put their trust in you, whether that be for them buying or selling their house. And staying consistent with it is key. You may not see any type of value or any type of business coming from your marketing on social media within the first couple of months, because trust me, it took a while for me to actually see some traction from the posts that I was putting up. But just stay consistent with it. You just had to keep pushing through and staying consistent with it, because it will eventually just start circulating all through social media, and then you'll start getting business from those posts and those ads that you put up. And next question, what struggles should we prepare for? There are quite a few struggles, especially as a new agent, that you definitely want to prepare for. Number one is obviously the amount of time it takes you to get that first commission check. You just want to make sure that you are financially capable and prepared to take on a business where you're not getting consistent income weekly, monthly, whatever the case may be that you be coming from. For me, I was getting paid bi-weekly, a consistent income every single 2 weeks, to commission based, which it's very difficult to budget that way, because you can get all this money in 1 month and then go a couple months without even making a dollar. So you just want to make sure that you really know how to budget your money. Another struggle I want to mention is that in this business, you're obviously talking to a lot of people, and many people have different types of personalities that you're going to need to deal with. You need to put yourself in a mindset where you're going to need to be able to talk to many different people with many different personalities, and you're going to work with some difficult clients. I'm not going to lie, I've had my fair share, but at the end of the day, they've hired you for a reason. So you just need to remember your why in this business a lot of the times, and you just need to remember that they put their trust in you, and you need to, regardless of whether they're mean to you, whether they give you attitude sometimes, it's just when it comes to this business, you're dealing with one of the biggest assets of someone's life. So you just need to remember that when you're dealing with buyers and sellers who are difficult, but you will come across the sweetest clients you have ever met, and you will come across some that you just can't wait to get to that closing table so you can just end the transaction. And then you're also going to have to deal with the realtors sometimes on the other end, who may not get along with you, may have different types of personalities, may have different mindsets. But just remember, the end goal is to get your client to the closing table, to get their money if they're selling, or to purchase that dream home of theirs. One of my biggest struggles when I first started was I was terrified of picking up the phone. Terrified of it. I was terrified of calling random people. I was terrified of answering random phone calls. You need to remember that they don't know who you are. They don't see you on the other end of that phone. You're just a stranger to them. So if they're telling you to F off, or they hang up on you, or they tell you never to call you ever again, you're never going to see these people in your life. And if you ever do, you're probably not going to recognize or not going to even know who they are. So who cares what they say on the other end of the phone, as long as you just pick up that phone, make those phone calls that you need to make, because you will come across potential clients. And all of the nonsense of the people that you talk to who hung up the phone on you, who are mean to you, are just going to disappear. And the last question I'm going to answer is, Do you love being a realtor? I want to get into it, but I'm not sure if it's the right career. So I love being a realtor. Yes, some days are harder than others. Yes, some days I'm like, why do I do this? But in the end, I absolutely love what I do. I love it. When I get a client to the closing table, whether they're the buyer or the seller, regardless, and they're just so happy to meet that end goal of theirs, it makes me so damn happy to see how happy other people get. It just like, I love helping people. I absolutely love it. And this is why I do these videos, because I love helping. I just love helping people, whether that be my clients or other realtors out there. I used to be into that in the fitness world, where I used to love helping people get into shape. I used to do fitness plans, and that I feel like just didn't fulfill me as much as helping people buy and sell real estate. I was a real estate paralegal for 6 years prior to actually getting my license. And I honestly really loved real estate, but I was so sick of being behind a computer and being the outside man, or the man behind this, or the woman behind the scenes type of thing. I really wanted to be out there with these clients, showing them the houses, helping them prepare an offer, helping them get that home, getting to the closing table, and everything else that it entitles as a real estate agent. I just personally love this job. But I'm not gonna lie, this career is definitely not for everybody. It is a hustle and it is a grind, and you're sometimes hustling and grinding for nothing at the end of the day. For instance, I had a client who I showed properties for a good year. A good year I showed her properties for, and then they end up telling me that they no longer want to look at homes anymore, and they're gonna put their search on hold for however long it may be. And obviously that hurts, because that was just a lot of my time wasted. It's hard to see otherwise, but you just need to realize that you can't control what you're not in control of. You know, you can control only what you're capable of controlling. But it is definitely not an easy career where money just falls in your lap, where clients just fall in your lap. You really need to go out there and hustle to try to get these clients. There's so many real estate agents in my state, as there probably is in whatever state you're in right now as well too. So there's a lot of competition out there, and right now there are more realtors out there than there are homes for sale. So you're competing against a lot of people, so it's not going to be easy. So if you like a challenge, you like the hustle, you like the grind, then you'll definitely do very well in this career. But it does take a lot of work, a lot of time, and as long as you put the time, the effort, and the hustle in, it will be very, very rewarding. But my battery is dying now, so I'm going to end this video here. I hope I answered some pretty good questions for you guys. I'll definitely do more of these in the future, because I do have a lot of questions that I did not get to, and I do apologize. Maybe I'll do a part 2 to this. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, do not forget to give it a thumbs up, and again, please hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss any videos that I post. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.